If you travel out to Grand Island, Nebraska, you'll come across a hill in the middle of a park in the west side of the city. It kind of comes out of nowhere as central-ish Nebraska is relatively flat, and locals call this particular hill Tornado Hill. Now, this particular hill is called Tornado Hill because back on June 3rd, 1980, the city of Grand Island, Nebraska was struck by one of the strangest tornado outbreaks that has ever occurred in the United States. Back on that June day in 1980, Grand Island was struck by not one, not two, but 7 tornadoes from about 8:45 p.m. to about 11:15 p.m. that night. Now, having 7 tornadoes hit the same city in the same night is weird enough already, but what made it even weirder was how these tornadoes acted. So the first tornado that touched down that night did multiple loops back on itself, traveled west and then south and then north and then east and then west again, and it was on the ground for 14 miles but only ended up traveling 7 straight miles. Now the next 3 tornadoes that would touch down over the next 40 minutes or so would all be anticyclonic. What that means is they spun clockwise instead of counterclockwise. Now 98 to 99% of tornadoes in the northern hemisphere spin counterclockwise. So the fact that there were 3 anticyclonic tornadoes that spawned from the same storm in the same city is astronomical levels of weird. Now, the 5th tornado of the night that would end up being an F4 touched down east of the city of Grand Island, which it should be a good thing. Most tornadoes travel east or northeast for the most part. This one, however, immediately traveled due west, headed directly for the business district of Grand Island. This tornado would cause catastrophic damage throughout the town and would end up killing 4 people in the city. The 6th and 7th tornadoes of the night would end up touching down on the south side of town and would do relatively minimal damage over mostly open farmland for most of their time on the ground. Now, you remember that hill I talked about in the beginning of the video? Well, it was named Tornado Hill because in the aftermath of the disaster, they needed something to do with all of the debris that was left over from the tornado. So they took it and they dumped it in a giant pile, covered it in dirt, called it Tornado Hill, made it a park, and now families in Grand Island regularly use it to sled down and create happy memories out of a disaster.